Welcome to ByCast, the Byfleet podcast with Amanda Boot.
Hi everyone and welcome to ByCast, the Byfleet weekly podcast where we bring you news from our villages and the surrounding areas. I'm Amanda Boot and I'll be your host today. So, on our first episode, we spoke about St Mary's Community Centre and its importance to our local communities. Since then, Woking Borough Council has voted on the future of the centre, and today I would like to update you on how all of that went and what the result means for St Mary's, its staff and all of its users and customers. We will also be speaking about a very important other project that I've been working on for 10 years now, and that's the Flood Alleviation Scheme in the Sanway area of the village. Over the last year, over the last 10 years, we've worked really hard to implement a solution to flooding in the village. For those of you that will remember, the village was flooded really badly in 1968, which was the worst one yet, 2000, 2003, and then also in 2013 to 2014. So, a total of 74 properties were flooded and lost when the last flood happened in 2013, and that's why I set up a project to try and do something about all of this. So we hope you enjoyed today's show, and we ask you to share with your friends and family by using the links posted in the description below, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel by clicking on the bell. Thank you. Now I'd like to update you on St Mary's Community Centre, as mentioned earlier. As you know from our first episode, there's been a lot going on with St Mary's and it is under threat, particularly the elderly daycare customer service. And so basically, as you all probably know, Woking Borough Council is in dire straits financially. Last June, a Section 114 notice was served on the council, which effectively means it's bankrupt. I mean, technically, a council can't go bankrupt, but it means that they've got a lot of financial issues that need to be sorted out. So currently we have a situation where government commissioners have come into the council, and we're all working as councillors and the administration with those commissioners and with the council officers to try to return what's called a balanced budget. And we have to find 8.5 million of savings to try and do that. So the council in autumn last year announced a number of cuts so that they could get to this 8.5 million saving. And I'm sad to say that part of that was to take away the elderly daycare service from St Mary's and to ask those elderly people to go for the same service but effectively to the other side of Woking, to a place called Hale End Court and also an extra care home called Brock Hill. Now, unfortunately, Brock Hill was closed at Christmas time. The building's been condemned as it's a fire risk, and Hale End Court is just at capacity anyway, so it really couldn't take the 40 to 50 elderly people that come and use St Mary's during the day in the week. So we had a bit of a problem. I decided back in October that I wanted to do something about this urgently. There's absolutely no way that we want St Mary's to close. It is the lifeblood of our village. It's a really important centre, not just for the elderly, but intergenerationally for lots and lots of different people who love the place. I mean, I'm there nearly every day. It is a fabulous place. So the first problem that we had was the cafe was closing. You might have heard about that, and the reason that was because the council just decided to put the rent up to the previous people that ran the cafe, and it just became untenable. So by the time I found out about this, it was a bit too late, but I'm really pleased to say that a friend of mine called Steve Howes has another friend called Neil, and he was in the catering business and he had a cafe in Woking. So we went and spoke to Neil, and we've managed to persuade him to come and open a new cafe at St Mary's. So that's now up and running. It's open every day, Monday to Friday, and do please come and make the most of it and use it, because it's a wonderful cafe and we're quite excited to have that back in place. Secondly, I set up an action group to try and save the elderly service, and I've been working with a number of people on that. Byfleet United Charities, of which I'm a trustee, an elderly daycare service from London called Regenerate Rise, and a host of different residents who care passionately about the centre. We're all working together, trying to come up with a plan to make sure that St Mary's stays open, but also that we keep the elderly service going and we keep the staff, and we also make it a much bigger and better centre, because we'll be able to fill all the empty spaces. So we're going to do what's called a community asset transfer. We're setting up an organisation to do that at the moment. It's quite complicated, but please watch this spot and I'll keep updating you as we take on this journey. Thank you. Hi everyone, so I just wanted to let you know now about a super new project that I've been working on called the Sanway Byfleet Flood Alleviation Scheme. Now, there is a website if you want to have a look at that. Just Google Sanway Byfleet Flood Scheme and it will come up, and there's lots of detail there for you to have a look at, maps and technical information, all set up by the Environment Agency. But just to go back in time, Christmas Day 2013, I was sat about to serve the first turkey I've ever cooked actually, and I got a call from the council to say that my house potentially was going to flood. And I know at that time lots of houses in the village did flood, and it was a really awful time for so many people. So I decided to set up a flood scheme. I had no idea about flooding, how it worked. I was a bit out of my depth, no pun intended, but I got together a lot of interested parties, and we've worked our way through. So initially we had a lot of upset residents, and understandably so, and we met at St Mary's. There was I got Thames Water involved, Surrey County Council, Woking Borough Council, and also the Environment Agency, Surrey Wildlife Trust, and we weren't really sure what to do, but I'm happy to say that 10 years on, we now have a state-of-the-art, really innovative flood alleviation scheme that we're going to be building around the village. I've been able to raise successfully £19 million for this scheme, which I'm delighted about, and that's come from a number of sources, such as Surrey County Council, the Thames Coastal and Resilience Flood Scheme, and Woking Borough Council were supposed to put some money in. Unfortunately, they're not now able to do that, but they have given us land and payment in kind, so they have contributed, and I'm really pleased to say that I'm confident that we'll find the missing money that they can't now put in. So it's all good. So we'll be going for planning permission for this scheme shortly, probably in the spring this year, and we'll start to build the scheme next year. But what does it look like and what does it mean? So it's basically going to be a sheet pile wall, which will range from being 0.15 metres to 2 metres in height. Where the land is low-lying, the defence will be higher, and it will stop water coming into the village, all of which has been modelled technically. So we looked at the way that the water flows. It will stop it coming into the Sanway area of the village, and it will stop the village from flooding again for what we call a 1 in 100 plus climate change. So it's very future-proof, because we know that with climate change, flooding's only sadly going to get worse. So it won't look like a sheep pile wall. It will be covered in, it will be a lovely grassy bank, and what we intend to do is open up the common meadows area of the village, which is not accessible to residents or to the public at the moment. But we're going to turn that into a beautiful nature reserve where everybody will have access. It will be free to use. You'll be able to walk your dogs, go for a jog, take the children, whatever you would like to do. And also we're going to be putting some lovely things into that. So we've got a lot of biodiversity projects that are ongoing, ecology studies that have been made by the Environment Agency, and we're looking to do things like maybe bring the water vole back to Surrey because it's extinct in Surrey at the moment. We'll be putting in bird hides, and we're also going to be building some community orchards, and we'd love you to take part in that. So if you are interested in that, do let us know, because we're starting to plan and scope out those orchards at the moment. But it's safe to say that we will be putting in new footpaths, a new bridleway, and you will be able to walk all the way through the nature reserve up to RHS Wisley. Wisley are a key partner who are working with me on this scheme. They're very excited about it, and we're going to create what's called the garden route with them, and they will sponsor parts of that route, and they will put in special displays of foliage and fauna, and it will be quite exciting, I think. So really pleased to say that that is all now happening. So it won't just be about protecting the village from flooding, it will also be about creating a really nice new environment for us all to use and access. And organisations like Surrey Wildlife Trust are actively involved and working with me on this. I chair a stakeholder group, and we all meet on a very regular basis, and I also chair a flood forum in Byfleet which meets twice a year, and all of those parties come together and residents are involved too. And we'll shortly be running a number of engagement sessions. You'll be able to come along to St Mary's Community Centre, where we'll have lots of drawings and pictures of what it will all look like when we start to create this new scheme. So do please come to the drop-ins. They'll be held the week commencing the 13th of May, and we will be posting, and I'll be putting posts up on social media to let you know the exact dates and times about that. But do get involved. It's a really exciting project. It's very innovative. Nothing like this has really been done before, and so I know that all of the companies involved are really excited too. So thank you. Today we're introducing a new segment to our episodes, Stories of Byfleet. These are stories, anecdotes, events that have shaped our village and that we would like to share with you. So our first story today is about how Byfleet became the home for Britain's first banana. Believe it or not, it all started with a man called Mr. Hines, a resident of the Clock House in Byfleet back in Victorian times. Now, Mr. Hines built a greenhouse on the premises and he planted a banana tree. The gentle, warm climate of the greenhouse enabled the tree to grow so well that it bore fruit, and Mr. Hines grew the first ever banana that was to ripen in England. This sweet fruit was then sent to Queen Victoria at Osborne House. Unfortunately, we don't know how Queen Victoria reacted when she tasted the banana, but we hope that she gave the thumbs up, and Mr. Hines, we know, continued to grow abundantly in his greenhouse.
Well, paint me yellow and call me banana.
So, we hope that you enjoyed today's episode as much as we've enjoyed making it. Please check the links below where you can post your comments and follow more on our local news. We would also like to thank our supporters that have made this podcast possible: St Mary's Community Centre, Cafe Carlo, and yourselves, of course. This podcast is for all of you, the community of Byfleet and beyond, and we would really like you to help us to get the word out and to spread it. Please share this channel with your family, friends and neighbours and help us to reach our target of 300 channel subscribers in 30 days. Rate, review and subscribe by hitting the bell to ByCast, and follow us on all main social media platforms. All links are posted below. Next week we'll be covering more local news stories, and our main segment will be focusing on another project I've been working on, which is all about trying to get junctions 10 to 11 of the M25 resurfaced. This is a project that affects not only the surrounding communities and those who drive on the motorway, but it really adversely affects our village, and I know it's a real bugbear for many residents in the village. But I have good news to share with you on that, so stay tuned, do join in. There'll be a whole lot more on Byfleet and the surrounds, and please join us next Saturday at 6 o'clock. I'm Amanda Boot, and thank you for listening to ByCast. I'll see you next week. Bye.
Thank you for listening to ByCast. We'll see you next week.